What's up, everybody? Day 6 of this deployment, and I am back again, as every day. Today was interesting. We woke up first thing, did some training up in CIC, and then we had an inbound transit. We had to pull into port today because we needed to get some ammunition, and it was, from my point of view, a rather stressful transit because we had almost no visibility. The visibility was about 100 yards as we were coming into port, and that is one of those times where it is very stressful in CIC because it is our job to see what the bridge can't and to ensure that we are remaining safe as we are navigating the ship into the port. And obviously we were pulling into a very busy port. Thankfully, it was a Monday, so some of the recreation boat traffic was lower than it could have been, but it was still very significant. There were large naval boats inbound and outbound, and certainly a bunch of pleasure craft. And so we had to make sure that the ship was safe coming in and out. And obviously not all these boaters respond the best on the radio. That is one of the more difficult things for us, is that we have large teams of people driving the boat, making sure that everything is going, but the other boaters often don't have that. And so that is definitely a difficulty that we have to deal with. While we were doing that, obviously we came in, we took on the ammunition, and then we left, and the weather was much the same going out. Leaving, it was clear as we were leaving the dock, but then once we got even the slightest bit offshore, the fog got very heavy again, and we were down to visibilities of 100 or 200 yards. Luckily, because we were headed out and it was sort of mid-afternoon, there was a lot less traffic, and we were able to clear some large ships that were coming in and have a free, clear, safe way out of the channel. And now we are headed back for Fleet Week, San Francisco Fleet Week. We're going to be in San Francisco Fleet Week for the whole time. We will be giving tours 3 of the days. We will be participating in the parade of ships on another day. And that is going to be a cool, good experience. I know I've said that on previous podcasts, but we're going to get to show off our ship and the missions that we do to the general public, and that is not something that we often get to do. Also on the schedule today was supposed to be helicopter operations again, because as I've mentioned several times, the fog was limiting our visibility severely. The helicopter pilots did not believe it was safe to come out here and conduct training evolutions, and so we did not do that. I notice more often, this is just sort of going in a different direction, the background noise on the ship. It's something that we get used to, but I know it is definitely something that will be audible on these episodes, and there's not really anything I can do. Sometimes I can go out on the flight deck and it's a little bit less noisy. I could conceivably record this in a bathroom or something like that where it might be a little less noisy, but none of that is really convenient. So I just try to find some of the more quiet areas on the ship and do what I can to get these episodes out to sort of describe what life is like underway. And in many ways, that constant noise is part of life. That is part of life underway. It is always a dull noise just because of fans and engines and everything else around the ship that is just constantly making noise. For the meals today, breakfast was a little bit different. They did have eggs to order, which we normally do, but they also had Loco Moco. And if you don't know what that is a Hawaiian breakfast where you have rice and a hamburger patty and egg and gravy on top. And I think the first time I ever had one of those was here on the ship, and I have also since then had them actually in Hawaii, and I really enjoy those. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what lunch was. And that's strange. Actually, no, that's not correct. We had jerk chicken for lunch with mashed sweet potatoes, which I'm sure tasted fine if mashed sweet potatoes are your thing. I don't like cooked sweet potatoes in any way. So I didn't eat those. But the jerk chicken was good. And for dinner, we had a beef stew that was also quite good. A beef stew over rice with homemade rolls. And that was good as well. For some reason, today they had difficulty in the scullery. That's the place where all the dishes get washed, if you're not familiar with nautical terminology. And at lunch, I saw one of the other first-class petty officers, because that's my rank. I'm a first-class petty officer. I saw one of the other ones of those working in the scullery washing dishes, which is not typical. And so I went up to see if she needed help in addition to the person who was also in there. She said she didn't know, and I said that I would ask the other individual if he needed help. And as soon as I walked into the door where they were washing dishes, I saw that the dishes were piled up about 4 feet high. And I just said to myself, yes, they do need help. And I went ahead and took my hoodie off and got in the back to help them clean all the dishes. That's not something I have anything against doing. It's something I've done before. And, I do have a lot of respect for the people who that is what they're doing, because that is hard work. Even worse than the cooks. It's definitely a thankless job. People don't notice that you're there until they try to show up and they don't have a fork. And then, they act like they want to, beat somebody with a whip or something. And it's just, it's a little bit annoying. And I think it's always the people who haven't done that in the past, which sort of frustrates me. And, they never do what me and the other person did, which is jump back there and help them get caught up with all the dishes. So that was what we did during lunch. We saw something that, needed to be fixed, and we jumped back there and helped get it under control. Tomorrow on the plan, we are just transiting to San Francisco, and that is going to be it. There's nothing substantial on the plan of the day tomorrow, which is good. It'll be a time that we can sort of relax, let the guard down, take a day sort of to ourselves as much as possible with watches and general work activities. But it shouldn't be extremely stressful. And with that, I will leave it there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.